For step 2, trying to figure out what we can do with the catalytic converter here, got some of the seafoam actually spray to kind of spray right and clean up stuff right in the engine. And so we're going to try a little something that I've seen online and see if that does the trick. We need to get down into the cat down here. The first thing we need to do is to take off this cover for the air intake. It covers it up here. So with these bolts removed, just a 10mm socket will take care of that. We can lift this front cover right off and pull it right out of the air intake box. And now we can get into the front catalytic converter. And the video I've seen talks about removing this oxygen sensor and then spraying some of the seafoam right down in there to see if that will clear up any clogs or stuff going on. So that's the idea, is to remove that O2 sensor right there in the front. So a bit more penetrating oil on this side of the way. Actually, my O2 sensor is pretty loose, so I can just remove that, unscrew that, and that should get us direct access into the catalytic converter. Right in there. So here I've got the seafoam spray, and I've got the tube pointed down into the hole where the oxygen sensor was, right in there. And we'll just kind of make sure that's in there, kind of pointing down towards the cat and all of its honeycomb stuff. And just spray a bit of that in there. Well, here's my O2 sensor that I'd removed, and it had some deposits kind of caked onto one side there. So I used a little brake cleaner and kind of see if I could just clean that off. I wasn't sure if that was part of the problem. But anyway, maybe the O2 sensor is a little bit cleaner. Maybe that will help out with the whole situation a little bit before it goes back in. So there goes the O2 sensor. That went back in pretty easily. And I put this heat shield back on. But I think I may have broken off the tip of the two bolts that went in here and here, because they look shorter than the others, and I can't get them back in. But I've got it held on the top by these two, and then one back over here. So 3 out of 5. Hope that should do the job. And now we're going to try what the seafoam spray says it's actually made for, and that's to go actually into the engine right here. So this is how that works. It goes right in the throttle body in this plastic piece. This plastic piece will hold that right there in, so that I guess as your butterfly valve opens, you get spraying it right in the engine. So that's what you're looking for with the into this little tube on the seafoam. Okay, now I've got the engine running. I've opened up the throttle body and stuck the little curve right in there. And so with the engine going about 2,000 RPM, I'm going to spray it right in here into the throttle body of the engine, kind of help clean things out. And you can see with the seafoam stuff, you'll get a lot of fumes and smoke and all that coming out here as it's burning its way through. Now I've had the seafoam sitting in the cat for like 15, 20, 30 minutes, so it's all hooked up, and I'm just kind of burning all this stuff through now. And boy, that's a lot of smoke going through there. So just keep on going. I usually use the whole can. I used about half in the cat. I'm doing half through the throttle body, and we'll see what happens there. Here's everything all back together. I've put this air intake back in, 2 bolts back in right here. That just kind of pops back in there. From the air box, the air into the engine is back in. Had to just remove and replace this plastic plate cover on top. And of course there's everything as usual. You can see the O2 sensor. And so far all this cost me is 2 broken bolts. One right there and one right there. But I've got the other 3 holding it in. And after running the engine, a lot of smoking, as you saw, from here and even down here. I'm guessing a lot of that was penetrating oil on the really hot manifold kind of burning off. After a lot of that, this part here is all done and back to normal. So the last part is the seafoam in the tank. Now I bought these together. They're often sold as a package. The sort of engine cleaning one and now the tank that goes through everything. I know that some mechanics don't like seafoam and some do, but we'll just try this once here. Now for the, of course, high mileage here, this just goes in your tank and should clean everything out, going all through the engine, getting burned out through the exhaust. Very often it'll leave you a lot of smoky, cloudy exhaust for a little bit as it burns out. That's just the way it is. But with the instructions here, it says to add 1 ounce per gallon for regular treatment, and for high dirty stuff or even more cleaning, 2 ounces per gallon. Well, the can is 16 ounces, and of course we have a 20-gallon tank here. I've got about 5 gallons left in. I'm just going to pour the whole thing in and then go fill up and drive around and see what happens with that, and we'll check back in and see the results after a few miles. So in it goes. A lot quicker to empty this can than the spray can, that's for sure. Okay, that's all done. And actually this time had a scanner, so I cleared the code, and you can see here that there's no warning light on, and with all the seafoam in there clearing things out, we'll see if that makes a difference. I've set my trip meter down here to 0. I'll drive a number of miles and we'll check this again and see if I'm having any more trouble as before, or if the check engine light comes back on for that catalytic converter. So we'll see what the seafoam does here. Well, here we are, 136 miles later, and still doing okay. The check engine light hasn't come back on. Overall, it's been driving better, although sometimes in hard acceleration I notice a bit of kind of a pause or a jerk. So I might have to see what's happening there and what needs to be checked out. But as far as catalytic converter issues, from what I can tell, I'd be able to pass any kind of emissions. The code's been off for quite a while, and it looks like the seafoam may have helped. How about that?